Okay, so today we're going to talk a little bit about just measuring some features. This is not really measuring any kind of features that are already established in the program. So this is just if we need to come in and measure a single diameter step, dimension, whatever we need, just to make something super quick, simple, and easy for maybe a project that we're working on. We just need to grab one dimension on. The danger in doing this is that we do kind of run into some opportunities for some false readings. So we want to make sure that what we're getting is good information. So as I go through this, I want you to kind of keep this in your mind, that this isn't the way that we want to create a program, that this is just something for some simple, quick measurements. And what I've done is I still have my alignment from before, and I'm just going to raise it up. And this is just a measurement widget that we have. I'm going to go ahead and take a measurement on just a diameter in here, and I've got a location stopper in there, and this is one that we'll use a lot for some of our measurements. So I've got it sitting in there. I have just a real simple calibration program still called up from before, and just a little bit about the information on the screen. We can go in, we can see graphically what's going on. So what I've done here is I'm going to delete some of these things out, and we'll rerun back through it. So all I've done was start a new program, and I've loaded a probe in, and that's really all I've done is for my active tip. So just started up a new program, called it CAL period, and I've done really at this point nothing else on the screen. So I'm going to come in and just take some hits on this. What's really cool about this is that it has the PCDMIS has a guess mode on there. So the more hits that you take on a surface, you can definitely identify what it is that you want to measure. You can measure a circle. Here I can highlight on this. I know you can't see it on screen very well, but I can highlight a circle and say, let's measure that circle. Or I can go over to a question mark. And you can see this on your PowerPoint as you go through the slides. So I've selected that as my option. So I'm just going to let it guess what it is. And so I'm going to hold my button down here, and that's going to activate my hand box so that I can come in, take some hits. I'm going to move this camera in so you can see it just a little bit better. And as we do that, you're going to be able to see me just taking some hits across this, and then we should have a really nice setup as we go through here. So I'm going to come down, move it up and down in Z, find a kind of a medium spot along that line, and I'm not necessarily wanting to take hits perpendicular to each other, even though that's oftentimes pretty simple to do. I can kind of just play around with my hits on there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and this 5 can go just about anywhere. And then on my hand box, I'm going to hit the check mark. And now what that's going to do is put up the featured circle. So as I go in there, I can see what I have, that it's created a circle. Now, that really doesn't tell me anything as of right now, other than the fact that I've just measured a circle. So if I just need to go in and take a quick measurement of what that is, I've got it on graphics, I can see it, but all it tells me is it's a circle looking thing. I can go in here and hit edit, or right click, and then I can go in and hit edit. I can see the dimension of that circle. So if I just needed to come in and take a quick measurement of something, I can see that that circle is 2 inches, 396 thousandths and some change. So that's one way that I can do it. But when you do that, you have to remember that measuring the way that I did it there by just single hitting all of those options is really one of your least accurate ways of doing it. The machine has the ability to take these hits, measure these points on its own, and that's a lot better way to do it. So I'm going to pull this up here and see if we can set the screen so you guys can see it just a little bit better. And I want to set it into a point so that I can go ahead and take some hits on it and let the machine do some of the work. Now, before I do that, I can come in here and get everything lined up, and you can't see it super well. But I can look at this thing graphically in a couple of different ways. So I can scale it up, I can view in different directions, I can flip it around, I can turn the graph off or on, I can turn isometric off and on, I can flip it around, I can go back in, really just see a lot of different ways of looking at my part. So I want to just kind of look down at the top of it, but I want to see if I can get a little bit better accurate measurement of this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in and over at the end, right over here, so I got my cursor right there. It says probe mode. When I hit probe mode, it brings this manual DCC mode option on. And so as I do that, I'm just going to come up, and I don't want to leave it at the end because what I want to do is I want to measure this circle, and I want it to do it automatically. So I'm just going to move this up to here, so that my manual DCC is up above it. Here we go. So now my manual DCC is up above it, so my arrow is above the circle. And so what that's going to do is that's going to allow me to let the machine do the movements there. So we'll go back in and we're going to measure the circle. But this time, as we measure the circle, the machine's going to do it itself. So on the screen, I'm going to right click and I'm going to go down and hit execute from the cursor. So I've highlighted manual DCC mode, and then I went to execute and then from the cursor. And so now the machine's going to take the hits on its own. And so this is going to give consistency in the hit. It's going to be nice and smooth as it goes around, and so this way I get a lot better idea of what's going on here. And so I like that a lot better as I'm going through my components, and I can come in and I can really kind of customize and do a lot of work with that. I could now create a report if I wanted to. If I had a couple of things that I wanted to attach it to, I could go in and take some of those measurements from that. So what I could do here is I can come up and on my screen I can hit this position, and I can select circle 1, and it says 2.9365, and then gives a 4/10 plus or minus tolerance on there, and I can create a report from there if I wanted to. And this I don't want to, so I'm not concerned about it at all. I just wanted to use this as an opportunity to give you an example of what it looks like to come in and measure just one thing. All right. I'll have some questions that go with this. Go ahead and complete those questions, and then you'll be good to go. So this is the second part of your assignment for this week, Tuesday.